Major funding for NJTV News is provided in part by the members of the New Jersey Education Association, making public schools great for every child, and PSE&G. We make things work for communities.
Tonight on NJTV News, no budget deal yet.
Governor Murphy declares the budget the legislature gave him to be out of balance right after the Assembly Speaker defends it.
Two giants in cancer care form a partnership to benefit, they say, patients.
Stop the Bleed. It's a national initiative, and here in New Jersey, we visit a free class at a hospital and speak to New Jersey residents who hope to be better prepared in the event of an emergency.
Plus, what's 6 stories tall and emits some sweet sound? It's huge at the Hard Rock. Those stories and more next on NJTV News.
Live from the Agnes Varis NJTV studio at 2 Gateway Center in Newark, this is NJTV News with Mary Alice Williams.
Hello, thank you for joining us. The governor withholds a veto that would torpedo the legislator's budget plan, preferring to keep lawmakers working on a compromise over how to tax and where to spend as Jersey's fiscal face-off heads into the final stretch. Chief political correspondent Michael Aaron reports.
Surrounded by several hundred supporters in his outer office, Governor Murphy said today he and the legislature agree on a lot. They agree mainly on what needs new money.
But nothing in life is free. And we now have documented that the legislative leadership's plan is nearly $1 billion short in being able to cover these needed investments. The legislature passed its version of a budget Thursday night. According to Murphy, his original budget contained a surplus of $751 million. The legislature's budget would produce a deficit of $104 million, according to Murphy and his treasurer, Elizabeth Moyo. That's a swing of $855 million, or nearly $1 billion, that the governor calls phantom revenues made up by the legislature. Let me be clear. Falling nearly $1 billion short would put every investment we need to make in our schools, our hospitals, our communities, our small businesses, in mass transit, in social programs, and in core programs the people of New Jersey depend upon. All of that would be put at risk.
The budget that was passed by the legislature is a budget that people can rely on.
An hour earlier, Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin held a news conference to defend the legislature's budget. He said his numbers come from the nonpartisan Office of Legislative Services and can be trusted. Former Budget Committee Chair Lou Greenwald backed him up on that.
Treasurers in New Jersey are appointed by the governor. They report to the governor. They work for the governor. OLS does not work for the Democrats. They do not work for the Republicans. They work for the legislature.
The main difference between the two sides is that Murphy would impose a millionaire's tax and bump up the sales tax a fraction. The legislature rejects those as taxes on people and instead wants a 2-year tax surcharge on large corporations. Murphy has threatened to veto the legislature's bill, but sounded a more hopeful note today about meeting the June 30th deadline. We still have 5+ days to go. There is plenty of time to get this done, and there is no logical reason it can't be done. The governor sounded a little more flexible today, more amenable to a compromise. I have said from the get-go, or at least over the past number of weeks, that there's a framework of available alternatives that I think could add up in some combination to a deal. One of them is a recharacterized CBT. By the way, I've got 2 big issues with that. It's the temporary nature is number 1, but number 2, the level that makes us the highest in the country. Millionaires, sales, maybe accepting amnesty, which is something I have a hard time accepting unless you're desperate, and I hope that we're not desperate. I am open and reasonable. Coughlin wouldn't talk about possible compromises he's willing to make. His public stance is that his work is done.
We have a budget that's in place. We did our constitutional job.
Murphy insists the angels of fiscal responsibility are on his side. I didn't come here to continue the games. And I'm not suggesting there's ill will.
I'm just suggesting that this notion of can't we just put a Band-Aid on it and worry about this next year? That's not why I'm here.
Murphy said he'd be meeting with about 10 or 12 Democratic legislators later today, including the leaders. Without an agreement on the budget, state government shuts down July 1st. At the State House, I'm Michael Aaron, NJTV News.
When a powerful organization descends on Trenton to lobby on behalf of a powerful voting bloc, do lawmakers listen? Senior correspondent Brenda Flanagan did.
300 advanced troops, AARP volunteers, met in Trenton to hear from politicians who crave continued support from the organization's 1.3 million New Jersey members aged 50 and over, a formidable voting bloc. Governor Murphy told these folks, most of them on fixed incomes, his budget proposal offers relief from Jersey's infamously high property taxes.
Well, we need to fully fund our public schools to not just support our kids and our terrific educators, but to also put downward pressure on property taxes. Right?
A big crowd pleaser. As for the homestead rebate, which got slashed in half last year,
we're going to put a significant amount of money back into the homestead rebate program. Right?
Except Murphy's budget actually reduces the homestead rebate by more than $12 million total compared to last year. It's the legislature's budget passed last week that would just about double homestead rebates to $298 million.
Which is so important to people because, you know, it's a promise that we've made. It's something we have to keep. I think we're going, you know, that I've made that part of the things that we need to reestablish in the budget.
An administration source told NJTV News the governor's willing to accept the legislature's higher homestead rebate allocation if they provide sustainable revenue to support it. Meanwhile, AARP's got other issues, and they'll drive an agenda in the upcoming midterm elections.
We want to keep Social Security strong for future generations. Anybody here worried? Yeah, we're worried.
The group expressed concerns over cuts to Medicare and Medicaid and complained that prescription drugs cost too much because pharmaceutical companies overcharge or evade generics.
As seniors, you cannot afford to pay the prices that they're asking you. So generics are just so important for our seniors. Absolutely.
I will be a new Medicare recipient at the end of this year. And if they were to cut it, it's going to affect my standard and quality of living.
AARP will focus on New Jersey's U.S. Senate race and on 5 congressional districts, the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 11th, giving special attention to candidates' positions on critical issues.
We have identified the 5 districts that we're working in for a number of reasons, including that they are the most competitive, we can make the most difference, and we have large percentages of our members who live in these districts.
AARP will be polling its New Jersey voters age 50 and over this summer. It's an officially nonpartisan organization, but on issues like Medicare, it is fiercely protective of its members. In Trenton, I'm Brenda Flanagan, NJTV News.
It was taxes that topped the state's business news. Standing by at the Strategic Development Group studio at the NJCU School of Business is Rhonda Schaffler. Rhonda?
Mary Alice, lawmakers are looking at another revenue generator for the new state budget. Both the Senate and Assembly are moving quickly to pass legislation that would allow the state to collect sales taxes from online retailers. The legislation would charge third-party vendors who sell through Amazon, eBay, and other such websites. Democrats believe that move could bring in between $100 to $300 million for the state within the first year, although Governor Murphy projects it would be much less, in the range of about $25 million. This legislation comes 1 week after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled states could impose taxes on Internet vendors. When Atlantic City's 2 newest casinos open this Thursday, only one will offer sports betting. The Hard Rock Hotel and Casino will not take sports bets when it opens the doors of the newly renovated Trump Taj Mahal. The property's president told Press of Atlantic City the company is taking a hard look at whether or not to offer sports gambling in the future, but for now, it's just concentrating on the casino's opening. The Ocean Resort Casino will be offering sports wagering when it opens later this week. Another attempt is underway to revive the bankrupt Toys R Us retail chain, which is scheduled to close its stores for good this week. Bloomberg is reporting that Jerry Storch, the former CEO of the Wayne-based company, is meeting with investors to devise such a plan. Storch isn't commenting, but reports say he hopes to obtain Toys R Us's intellectual property, such as the brand's name and logo, during an auction to be held later this year. Bloomberg also reports Storch has been in talks with real estate landlords about opening stores. Finally, the Food and Drug Administration has approved the first cannabis-based drug in the U.S. The drug, made by GW Pharmaceuticals, would be used to treat rare forms of childhood epilepsy. Renewed worries about trade sent stocks sharply lower today. The Dow fell more than 300 points. And those are our top business stories.
Support for the Business Report is provided by SJ Magazine, the heart and soul of South Jersey. Online at sjmagazine.net.
Cleaning the slate at Newark schools. A week before the district's first school board-picked leader assumes the role after 22 years under state control, incoming school superintendent Roger Leons asked 31 employees, including high-level administrators, to resign this week or be fired. The shakeup appears to target employees associated with former state-appointed superintendents Cammie Anderson and Chris Cerf. They include the chief academic officer, the head of student enrollment, chief information officer, and chief data officer. 3 assistant superintendents were demoted. Another door opening. That tops tonight's Garden State Express. Our first stop, Atlantic City, prepping for Thursday's grand opening of the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino by installing a 60-foot guitar, a faded, cherry-colored replica Gibson Les Paul guitar. Workers uncrated it in pieces, assembled it, and attached the logo on both sides of the guitar before it was moved to the front of the resort, where it stands to greet visitors with lights and sound. The lyrics, "Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends," by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Next to North Wildwood, welcoming all comers to enjoy all things Italian. There were Italians like 60s teen idol Bobby Rydell, the Grand Marshal, and Jamie Gioloretto, Miss New Jersey. There were Italian foods, from sausage and peppers and onions to a hoagie composed of piled up chicken tenders, fried ravioli, mozzarella sticks, fresh mozzarella, fire-roasted peppers, marinara sauce, and fries. There was grape stomping and meatball racing and wine tasting, all to the strains of Sinatra, and even St. Anthony was there. The free festival is a gift from the Knights of Columbus, who turned a major intersection into an open-air Italian market. Finally, Jersey City, where more than 100 people inhaled deep cleansing breaths on Newark Ave, turning the pedestrian plaza into a great big yoga mat. The Downtown Special Improvement District partnered with Jiva Mukti Yoga Jersey City for the free event, which also drew water and organic product purveyors, along with experts in yoga, meditation, and life spas, to help those feeling a bit downward dog get out of their warrior poses and join in a group sun salutation. Namaste. And that's the Garden State Express for Monday, June 25th. Something up in your neighborhood? Tip us off. There is good news for New Jersey's cancer patients in need of it. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center has invested $185 million to retrofit a building where they can get better outpatient treatment closer to home. Michael Hill reports.
Sal Rossi says his cancer diagnosis was doom and gloom until he met with the Memorial Sloan Kettering doctor in New York.
She said, we see hundreds of men like you every day. This is what we do, and this is what we do best. And I'm telling you, you're going to be fine. And that was 11 years ago.
Memorial Sloan Kettering says that's the kind of care and confidence it will deliver at its new facility in Bergen County, where it got some congressional help to cut the ribbon for the grand opening. Memorial Sloan Kettering Bergen says no longer will patients from New Jersey and southern New York have to travel to Manhattan for outpatient cancer care.
Today, more than 1 out of every 5 people MSK cares for call New Jersey home.
MSK says more than 53,000 New Jerseyans will be diagnosed with cancer this year, and because of advances in science and medicine, doctors know there are more than 400 types of tumors.
We're making great progress. The cure rate for cancer is going up, and it's going up fast. And the amount of chemotherapy that we are giving to our cancer patients is going down.
MSK credits new therapies and approaches to treating cancer. It's partnering with the John Theurer Cancer Center to offer CAR T-cell therapy.
You take a healthy cell from somebody's body, it gets reprogrammed, then it gets reinserted in that person and is programmed to seek out cancer cells and ultimately destroy them.
This Memorial Sloan Kettering facility is in partnership with Hackensack Meridian Health. The two parties say it simply makes sense.
Partnerships are going to be the basis of healthcare success in the future. Why compete when we can share best practices, when we can collaborate and do what's right for patients? That's what's important to me.
The state health commissioner welcomed the partnership's mission to conduct clinical trials.
When you have some of the best minds available together in groups, treating patients in a one-stop shop, you will allow them access to the most formidable and promising therapies that we will study.
And the radiation will be delivered from the top of this machine. Arms come out of the machine, which actually will take images of the patient internally during treatment.
NJTV News went on a tour of the 110,000 square foot facility that included MSK contributors Stuart and Bonnie Krentzman. First up, kiosk where patients can check in.
This is super cool.
They walked the hallways that looked like art galleries, spaces that resembled spas, and saw the newest technology for PET scans to diagnose cancer.
It's much more sensitive than the prior unit.
In other words, a more thorough examination.
Yes, more detail, more information, and faster.
Memorial Sloan Kettering Bergen says it's ready to deliver world-class cancer care here in the former Toys R Us corporate headquarters in Montvale. Michael Hill, NJTV News.
School's out for the summer, but school nurses are in class, taking courses in essential first aid. Lauren Wanko reports.
New school nurse Carolyn Powers is packing a wound. In this training exercise, the Jackson Township resident is learning how to potentially save someone from uncontrolled bleeding.
I want to be as prepared as possible for anything that might happen on the school grounds.
The campaign's called Stop the Bleed, a national initiative. The program's designed to better prepare the public on how to stop life-threatening bleeding that may result from emergencies and other disasters. Carolyn and others are attending Jersey Shore University Medical Center's free monthly training class.
The patient patient is actively bleeding. Patient can bleed to death within 5 minutes, essentially. So if you take a look at all the incidences where the EMS responds, most of the time EMS does not respond within 3 minutes or 5 minutes. The first person to respond to the scene is actually the bystander. So if bystander knows how to stop the bleed at that moment while you're waiting for EMS to arrive, you are essentially saving patient's life.
The instructors want class participants to be able to identify life-threatening bleeding, such as blood that is spurting out of the wound, pooling on the ground, or soaking through clothes. And they say it's also important that folks be aware of bleeding victims who've become confused or unconscious. During the class, participants learned how to apply a tourniquet.
A tourniquet is a life-saving device that you can put on top of a limb above the bleeding site, 2 inches above, and what it does is it actually stops the flow of the blood, causing the bleeding to stop and helping to prevent the patient from going into shock or dying.
Tourniquets aren't used for wounds on areas such as the neck or groin, says Jersey Shore University Medical Center's Christine Frugard. In some instances, bystanders don't have the device on the scene, which is why she teaches the class to pack the wound with gauze. After they've removed the clothing, participants are instructed to look for the most active bleeding within the wound.
Once we found the most active bleeding, we're going to hold pressure inside the wound with your 2 fingers and start packing the wound. You're going to pack right on top of the bleeding site. and keep packing until you see the bleeding stop. Once you get the packing inside the wound, you're going to hold pressure and not let go until your medical personnel have arrived.
Sometimes gauze isn't readily available in an emergency either. Dr. Naseem Ahmed says there's still a way to control the bleeding.
You have to have these two hands. The two hands can put pressure on where the bleeding is coming from, and you can hold that pressure till the EMS arrive.
Carolyn's glad she took the class, especially knowing how quickly someone could die from uncontrolled bleeding.
It only takes about 5 minutes, so, I'm it, along with anybody that's willing to help me. The school that I work in right now has over 1,200 students in it, so that's a lot for one nurse, and if something happens, I want to be prepared and know what to do.
Although Carolyn hopes she never has to use these skills. In Neptune, I'm Lauren Wonko, NJTV News.
46 years after the civil rights law called Title IX effectively banned gender discrimination in athletics, New Jersey's student sports governing body is taking a first step toward letting girls compete for a wrestling title in their own division. Here's Leah Mishkin.
So shuffle that foot so it steps.
Chris Ayres is the head wrestling coach at Princeton University. He's practicing with his daughter, Chloe, who's on the varsity wrestling team at her high school.
Now we have about 15 people on the team, so luckily for me, we don't have a lot of people available, so I got to have a varsity spot to wrestle, but a lot of girls don't have that opportunity.
The girl she's practicing with, Jasmine, is her fellow teammate, but they're the only two girls on the team.
So every single day, I'd pass this sign-up sheet on a wall, and I was like, why not? So I just put my name down.
They say they feel included by their teammates, but that's not the case everywhere.
I've actually had some pretty negative reactions before where there's laughing or people have actually refused to wrestle me, so I'll go out on the mat and they won't come out.
Even sometimes coaches, they'll be like, you're not wrestling that girl just because of our gender, which I don't really think is that fair.
Both these girls have a passion for the sport, so they've never seen quitting as an option. Chloe's dad, Chris, says it's hard to watch as a parent.
Wrestling with the boys, it takes a lot of courage to go out there, a lot more than most people have, so I think a lot of girls aren't coming out.
On top of that,
if you're a girl, there's not a lot of opportunity to go to higher levels for wrestling in high school because the boys are going to be bigger and stronger.
Even at the same weight, it's not the most fair thing.
Those are some of the reasons why the New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association, or NJSIAA, wants to establish the first state tournament for girl wrestlers. Across the country, there are already 12 states that have sanctioned girls wrestling. 6 of them were established this year.
Women don't compete against men in college, and women don't compete against men in the world venue. So it just made sense, and it wasn't fair that we were forcing our girls to compete against the boys.
And the demand seems to be there. Since 1994, the number of girl wrestlers across the country has gone up from 804 to over 14,000.
New Jersey is one of the top 3 wrestling states. We're one of the best. It's one of the most popular sports. We're top 3. Texas, on the other hand, it's not that popular of a sport. But the fact that they started a women's tournament over 10 years ago, the numbers don't even compare. They have over 4,000 women who wrestle at high school, where we have 126 right now.
Chris says he's been wrestling his whole life, and he wants his daughter to have the same opportunities because he knows what it will teach her.
Because wrestling really instills a lot of great values. I don't think I would have probably went to college had I not been a wrestler. It kept me motivated, it kept me disciplined.
The assistant director of NJSIAA hopes by creating a state tournament for girls, it will inspire school districts to build their own programs as a separate sport.
Right now in track and field and cross country, we have more girls competing than boys, so I like to be able to say that in 5 or 10 years about wrestling.
If it passes, we're told this tournament will be held in 2019. In Princeton, Leah Mishkin, NJTV News.
And now some noteworthy facts that help you know Jersey. Federal data demonstrate New Jersey's cancer rate is higher than the national average. The U.S. Census indicates 15.8% of New Jersey's population is 65 years old or better. New Jersey has the second highest number of Italian Americans in the country, and the first all-girls varsity wrestling bout in New Jersey was in January 2015. If there's someone who you'd like to get to know Jersey, share. Use hashtag #KnowJersey. To share any story you've seen tonight, go to njtvnews.org. I'm Mary Alice Williams. For all the men and women of NJTV News, thanks for being here. See you tomorrow.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. NJM Insurance Group, serving the insurance needs of New Jersey residents and businesses for more than 100 years. And Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
NJM Insurance Company has been serving New Jersey policyholders for more than 100 years. But just who are NJM's policyholders? They're the men and women who keep the Garden State growing, business leaders, the caretakers of our historic landmarks, and the custodians of our public safety. The people who make our state a great place to call home. NJM, we've got New Jersey covered.
I'm fighting cancer.
I'm fighting cancer.
I am fighting cancer.
I fight every day.
Every night.
Every hour.
Every minute. And every second.
RWJ Barnabas Health, together with the Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey, brings the latest research, treatments, and clinical trials close to home.
We're fighting cancer.
And I'm not fighting alone.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's beat cancer together.